Hello again, everyone, and welcome to another edition of RV Business Capital Talk, sponsored by the Dicor Corporation. With me, as always, is Sherman Goldenberg. I'm Rick Kessler. We're with RV Business. And joining us, Grant Whipple, President and COO of Winegard Corporation, and Marvin Metzler, Senior Director of Business Development for Winegard. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us.
For having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Winegard, of course, Burlington, Iowa. Sherman and I, we've already told you this, but we're not going to pretend to be the technical experts of everything that you guys do. But basically, you provide all of the high definition, high performance connectivity solutions, in this case for the RV industry, that anyone could possibly want.
Is that inaccurate?
I'd say that's pretty accurate.
Yeah, I think that's great.
We can go down the list, but it's Wi-Fi, it's satellite, it's NFC. What am I missing? Oh, Internet of Things. It's a lot.
Cellular.
And what puts you in the news and what catches our eye are two recent acquisitions of companies that going back to late last year and in February of this year. And I guess that's where we start. We start with Silverleaf Electronics. And we'll ask the same question for the other acquisition, but what does Silverleaf do for Winegard that it didn't have already?
Yeah, Silverleaf, in general, they have a deep history in RVC. So it's a networking protocol within the coach, within the RV, ties together multiple systems, everything from engine management to HVAC, tank levels, everything in the RV. And so they bring a deep knowledge of that RVC protocol into the fray for us.
Silverleaf, if I'm not mistaken, I know I don't want to leave anybody out, but it might be important to note that they work with companies like Newmar and I believe Ford Travel and a few others, correct?
Yeah, yep. They have served a lot of the high-end market for quite a few years now. So when there's very complex systems, complex integrations through multiple electronic systems in the RV, they've been providing those solutions to control it, monitor it, for quite some time now. One
of the products that they have that's really pretty slick, and I hope you can talk more about it, but I think it's called the Glass Dash.
Yeah, basically, once again, with their RVC integration, they've got a product that can actually replace or serve as the monitoring system for diesel engines, diesel pushers, and monitor and adjust all the performance of the engine, miles per gallon, can, not only monitor all of the engine management for you, but actually make adjustments to it to make sure your performance is optimized in your RV.
So what else would you tell us about that before we go to Wi-Fi Ranger?
One of the things I would say, Sherm, is that one of the things that's unique about RVC is Martin Perlow. Martin was on the committee and actually headed up the committee for RVIA when RVIA decided that it was important to have some kind of common control system similar to what you have for a CAN bus in automotive. RVIA recognized they needed to have something like that for the RV industry. And so Martin Perlow served on the RVA committee for RVC, which RVC is the name of the communication system used in RVs. And so it's kind of unique that he's, I would say, the grandfather of the RVC communication for RVs.
So what does Silverleaf do for Winegard now?
Well, when we started developing our products and we wanted to get into all types of different products for the RV industry, we realized that it was going to be important to be able to communicate via the RVC communication. And as we looked at our team, we realized that that was not one of our strengths. We're very good at the wireless, we're very good at communication, but when it came to the actual coding and knowing the coding to be able to do RVC in the recreational vehicles, we didn't really have anybody that was their area of expertise. Silverleaf, since they were the ones that originally started this form of communication, and like I mentioned, got involved with RVIA to help make it a standard for the RV industry, it just made a good sense for us to acquire a company that's their area of expertise when it wasn't our area of expertise. So now we feel like we have the best of both worlds. We have the ability to do all of the communication wirelessly, and then they have the ability to do all the coding to be able to do the communication over the wires, which is what RVC is.
Well, with regard to Wi-Fi Ranger, it too is not a huge company, but I believe at the time it was late summer or so that it was announced, its acquisition. It did cause a lot of ripples in the business. You know, why? Because they're such a significant company?
I'd say in general,
Okay.
yeah, I mean, Wi-Fi Ranger, they're a really strong networking company. They came from a background of, operating as a wireless internet service provider, and really scaling up to a lot of customers and providing internet for them. And then also from a background of supplying the RV campgrounds with Wi-Fi, and really understanding that use case very well. And so, Wi-Fi Ranger and Silverleaf, obviously, as you look at it, as more and more of these devices, whether it's in your home, become connected, or of course in your RV, this gives us, as Marvin mentioned, all the expertise to efficiently and optimally allow access to all those IoT type monitoring devices on the network, and work with them properly and integrate with them properly. A lot of the products we have, of course, move the data that's coming off those to somebody who needs it or wants to use it to make the experience better. And so, we're able to do that in a very, efficient and reliable way when you sort of put all these entities together.
Go ahead.
One of these things that is unique about both of these companies is you look at Martin Perlow, who was the founder of Silverleaf, and then you look at Kelly Hogan, who was the founder of Wi-Fi Ranger. Both of these gentlemen were very much pioneers in both of their areas of expertise. We talked a little bit about Martin and his involvement with RVIA. When you look at Kelly Hogan, back in 2011, he had figured out how to connect the RVs to the RV campgrounds. And back in 2011, that was not something that was common. And so he was very much a pioneer in making the RVs be connected to the campgrounds wirelessly through Wi-Fi. And so his first Ranger, of course, was a Wi-Fi Ranger product. And, for him to think of that back, a number of years ago, back to 2011, and, that was 10 years ago, and look at where we're at today. Having been involved with the wireless business for a number of years, selling wireless connectivity to recreational vehicle OEMs is not an easy sale. It's becoming easier and easier as more and more of the retail customers are realizing that they want to be connected. Back when Kelly was getting started, the answer that a lot of the OEMs gave is, well, people go camping to get away from it all. And that might have been partly true, but if you look at it today, no one leaves home without their phone. And so It's not just their phone, it's their computer, it's their printer, their iPad or tablet, whatever it is. And so people want to be connected inside the RV. And that was one of the things that Wi-Fi Ranger did that was unique compared to everybody else. They figured out a way to make a network inside the recreational vehicle that was unique to that RV. So when you went from campground to campground and you needed to add passwords for every campground that you stopped at, instead of having to connect 5 or 10 different devices to the campground password, you only had to connect the Wi-Fi Ranger to the campground password. And then that allowed all your other devices that were connected to the internal network with the Wi-Fi Ranger to automatically be connected. So Kelly just did a lot of unique things to start Wi-Fi Ranger. So we feel very honored to have these guys be a part of our team because they're both such pioneers and such forward thinkers when it comes to their particular area of expertise.
With regard to campgrounds, we have a sister publication, RVB business called Woodall's Campground Management. And it's evident in handling that over the years that Wi-Fi in the campgrounds is huge.
Yes.
Huge. And I didn't know that it started out with people poo-pooing it as less than that. But
Yeah.
today it's right up there with bathrooms. It's critical. Yeah.
A lot of people say it's the fourth utility that a campground must provide.
Yes. And it's been interesting. Years ago, it used to be they needed to supply cable TV. That was very important to the campers. And in talking to the different campgrounds, a number of the campground owners or organizations are dropping their cable and offering much better Wi-Fi because they're realizing that if they can supply a good Wi-Fi, people can stream all their entertainment versus having to deal with all of the cable hookups.
So I think we're both headed in the same direction, Rick. The general market, go ahead.
Well, yes, the general market, but to me, the question that needs to be asked right now is these two acquisitions. I mean, Winegard was already very good at its core business. And then we're talking RV perspective here. But with these two acquisitions, I mean, you guys are really serving notice that going forward, Winegard is going to be the formidable player for anything having to do with communications and connectivity. Not only external, but internal, talking to internal systems.
That is the goal. As you know, Winegard's been in business since 1953. It started out as a wireless company. And as wireless has gone from back then when they started in 53, it was OTA or over-the-air antennas dealing with television signals. And now we still do television signals. We both do it via antenna or satellite. But then in addition to that, we do the 4G, we do the Wi-Fi, we do the Bluetooth. And so any type of wireless connectivity that you're going to want on that RV, Winegard is now very capable of doing and supplying.
Rick, to your point too, in a nutshell though, what we're really, there's all these new technologies coming out, buzzwords you hear about, but our main goal through these acquisitions also is to make it all that technology isn't worth anything if somebody can't use it and their RV is better because of it. If it becomes more complicated because of all this new technology that wasn't there before, we talked a little bit about, Marv mentioned, camping to get away. What we're doing here is making the technology usable and making the experience better. And there's so many new ways that you'll be seeing that we do that. And to make the technology blend into the background and have it be useful, and instead of having the technology that nobody understands and makes, their vacation a bad experience. That's the opposite of what we want to deliver. And by combining all these acquisitions, what we're going to be able to deliver is that better, more seamless experience where the technology fades in the background and everything just works instead of, you have to be an IT major to, get everything to come together. So that's really what we're trying to deliver. And we hope, obviously, that we can be successful doing that.
Was that a subtle tease to tune in to some product developments not so far down the road?
I would say, yeah, we're very excited about what we're going to be bringing to market and how it's going to, have an imprint on the industry.
All right, I think we did it, really. For our purposes, speaking for myself, it's great to see you guys. We don't get to shows anymore. I remember seeing Grant at their exhibit more than once. And in fact, that's where I met him. But maybe in person, sometime in the not too distant future. Thank you for joining us, both of you guys. And we look forward to seeing you down the road here.
And Sherm, you said it well. We do have some exciting stuff coming down the road. And so it's going to be fun to roll this stuff out and see how the industry reacts to it, because we think they're going to be ecstatic when they see what we're doing.
Hope
Feel free to spill the beans right now.
This is your teaser. You gotta come back and get more.
Hope to see you in Elkhart, Marvin.
Thank you.
All right. Take care, you guys.
Thanks so much.
Thank you, guys.